back to our channel. I'm Justin.
And I'm Chelsey. Don't forget to subscribe and join our family.
The mission of our channel is to inspire, encourage, and inform you on how to be the best version of yourself.
So today we're going to talk about the 5 things that will help you become the best version of yourself.
Because we always talk about becoming the best version of ourselves, and I know you guys are probably almost tired of it, but we're like super passionate about each of us, really each and every day, striving to become better, striving to, produce the things that we want in our lives to become tangible, to manifest into these real things. So we won't give up on you guys. We won't give up on the theme of becoming the best version of yourself. So we just wanted to talk about 5 things that we think are really important. And there's like this one thing that will have kind of a domino effect on all of them. And we'll start there first. And it's prioritizing yourself. And we had a video before on self-love. If you hadn't seen that video, go check it out. We filmed that last year. But we really want you all this season to prioritize yourself. We live in a life with a lot of distractions, a lot of people, a lot of things that we could be consuming ourselves with. And, many times we neglect the things that are super important to spend time with and to heal and to nurture and to develop. So Chelsey's going to kick us off with, really a few things that you can keep in mind of as you're prioritizing yourself in this journey of 2020, really doubling down on becoming the best version of yourself.
So in society where things are so busy, like you have to work, you have to maybe go to school, you may have kids, you may have a whole husband, a whole wife. How do you put yourself first in today's constant busy schedule to make sure that you are where you need to be?
Find time, be serious. If you want to be the best version of yourself, it requires consistent effort. It's not an easy task, and you have to be willing to put in the work to reap the fruit of the manifestation that you want to see. So invest the time in doing things that will help you, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's listening to a podcast, whether it's watching a YouTube video. Pour into yourself and find the time within your busy schedule.
You should definitely self-evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Look into things that are the negatives in your life, the positives in your lives, and the rewards, the things that you have accomplished, and treat yourself. Make sure that, don't be so hard on yourself, because I know there's so many of us that are just so hard on ourselves, which in some sense that can be a benefit, but sometimes that can be a negative where you have done so much good, and then you did this one thing and you're tearing yourself down because of it, where you should just be, okay, I have done this, but now this is where I can become someone better. I can work on this. This is an area that I definitely have to grow in, so I'm going to focus on that area. So then I can build that area up, and then when I get to that, I can give myself a reward, something, treating myself to make me feel like, congratulations, I've done it. And I think that's really important than constantly beating ourselves down because we made this one mistake or failure.
And I think when life happens, you're able to identify with yourself in those moments. So if you're not aware that you can be impulsive, or if you're not aware that you can be super sensitive or super angry or super emotional, when those moments happen, you'll just kind of just feel and you'll just do what's innate for you to do. But if you're cognizant of the fact that I'm sensitive, and when someone says something to me and if I take it, brutally, and it's painful, sometimes you can identify, maybe I don't need to, take that offense as deeply as I did initially. And I think that takes us into the second topic, offense. And Chelsey, there's a scripture that I don't know.
Read your Bible.
It talks about offense. Can we pull up the word?
Pull up the word.
Where the Bible at?
You got the Bible?
We're going to get the word. 1 second. All right, we got the Bible back. We got the word. Come on. Take us in. Luke 17.
Luke 17, verse 1. He said to his disciples, "Hard trials and temptations are bound to come, but too bad for whoever brings them on. Better to wear a millstone necklace and take a swim in the deep blue sea than give even one of these dear little ones a hard time."
This is a ratchet international version. It's a messenger.
That was the messenger version.
But yeah, so everyone's different. So people are bound to offend you. And it's just so important to know that when you would take on that offense, you're taking on like something that can give birth to a lot of different attributes and feelings, like anger and frustration and bitterness. So our second point in terms of things that you should keep in mind as you're on the pursuit to becoming the best version of yourself: don't take offense so easily, as you're working with business partners, as you're working on your job, as you're in relationships. Chelsey and I, we're experiencing a lot of growth things within each other, and we're just seeing the importance of just seeking to understand, not always taking offense to things, not always, jumping to conclusions and, getting upset. So just in this season, try to avoid offense because it just can give birth to a lot of things that can hold you down unnecessarily. Thoughts?
Yeah, so let's be transparent. So I take offense. I have been taking offense very easily, especially with him. So I think it's because, which I'm learning that a lot of females do, males do obviously as well, but we can misinterpret or misread what the person intentionally is saying. And I do that a lot with him. Like, he'll say something and I'm thinking he's saying something that's completely negative, and really he was just I need to take it at face value and nothing else. And like something small, like he said he said something about you bringing food, and I thought you only bringing it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, he ain't bringing me food.
I made it clear I was bringing us food,
but he didn't say us. But because he did say us, I took it as he was bringing it for himself, and that wasn't the whole thing. And I should know. I just really want it. But I shouldn't take quick to have this offense, because then eventually, especially when it comes to relationships, friendships, like in general, the more offense that we have and we're not communicating about it and we're not addressing the issue and clearing the air, it's like we're putting up this wall. So we put up this one wall, we have another fence and another fence, another fence, and then eventually there's just a huge wall from comparing like to this person. So now I'm just like, we're just not really seeing eye to eye at all, and this brings tension, this brings division, and now we can't move forward in the relationship, the friendship, whatever it is, because of all these offenses that we have and that we never have addressed. If you are struggling with offense, just make it aware. Don't bring it to yourself and attack the person. Just try to understand what they really are saying. So just go to them, are you really saying this or are you saying that? Because I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. And then they'll explain, and then you're like, okay, I get it. Yeah. If you don't have the opportunity to communicate, then really just take time to evaluate in yourself, so you won't have that bitterness inside or the unforgiveness inside or feeling rejected because of what that person said. Instead, just take it, let's not build this wall, but let's just move forward and bring healing on the inside for ourselves.
Yeah, that's good. And I think there's certain aspects that will come up in our last thing that we want to mention. But I think that takes us into expectations of people. Because with offense comes from a lot of expectations that are unmet. And I just think, whether it's, just people you work with, people you're in close relationships with, people you go to church with, people who are your friends, it's important to just manage your expectations. And I think you have to, because when you don't manage your expectations, you'll expect things from people, and those people don't even necessarily have the nature to do those things that you expect. And that will put you in a situation where it takes you back to offense. And then, you're really upset about certain things, you're holding grudges, and you just don't want that toxicity in your life in this season. You can't become the best version of yourself if you have that toxic atmosphere in your life. I just think managing expectations is something we need to all do a little bit better job doing.
I think at the end of the day, everybody's gonna put these labels on you.
Yeah.
And we just have to make sure they don't stick. Because we have to first, that's why we prioritize yourself as like number one. Because you gotta have a foundation. You have to know who you are. So then when those labels come, those expectations, you already know who you are, and they're not gonna faze you. You won't deal with offense because you're grounded in who God created you to be, and you can walk in that confidently in your identity. So expectations on, like, especially in your workplace, with relationships, they're gonna come, but stay in who you are, express how you feel. And I think especially in any area of life, if you feel like there is this hidden expectation and it's not addressed, just make it known. Just talk about it. There's nothing wrong with communicating about how you feel about something so it can be addressed. So then you won't have this hidden label or this person perceives you a certain way. You make it known, then they understand, and you can move forward in the friendship, relationship, or circumstance.
Okay, just two more. Comparisons.
Ooh.
So especially in like the social media day and age we live in, I like low-key hate social media. Like I'll be trying to post and be a positive influence for the world, but it's just so much like hidden things that happen within social media. And there are a lot of people like this is an avenue for exposure and for awareness and for just creating wealth, honestly, for certain people, and I think it's awesome. But I think it's making a lot of people feel depleted and they're not feeling like they're moving quick enough or doing what they should be doing. And sometimes God will put you in seasons where you seem super stagnant, but you're being developed in that season. Your character is being molded and shaped. And, if you move too quickly, you'll put yourself prematurely in situations that you probably shouldn't have been in. So I just think comparison is something that I really try to avoid. As soon as I feel myself comparing myself to another person, I pull it down. Like I pull that thought down and I say, Justin, like that's their story, and you don't know what the next 5 to 10 years looks for that person, and they don't know what the next 5 to 10 years looks like for me. So
that's good.
I have to think about the long haul and not just the long haul and not just the short term. Life is a marathon, everyone says. So don't focus on trying to have the sprint mentality. Focus on like the longevity of your life.
Yeah, and I mean it's easier said than done. Of course.
For sure.
We go on Instagram and we see like they got married, and then now we're like, why am I single? Why am I alone? And we like view ourselves, but I like that you say that we have to just remember that's their story. I have a different story. My man will show up and I'm happy for them and I celebrate them, but don't be so quick to like, okay, I'm looking at that, so this should be my life, where everybody has their different journey. And I mean, if it's such a struggle, then I know people that just completely got off of social media because it's just too challenging for them to deal with all these comparisons, compare, look, and where you're at in life. And if you have to be that person where you just have to say, okay, I gotta be off social media for a while until I know I can mentally handle it. When I see people doing well, I can actually celebrate and not be bitter. Then do it. But I think it's very, very important to not look at somebody else and want it, because if you do get it, what if it's not for you and you can't really handle it? Everybody has a different story, and that person may be able to handle it, and you may have another completely journey that you have that they may not be able to handle. It's perfectly fine, because we are our own unique selves and we have our own journey.
So then lastly, community. In the pursuit to being the best version of yourself, there are so many quotes about, essentially not being the smartest person in your circle, having other people in your space who are smarter than you, or more knowledgeable than you, or just have more wisdom than you, just so that you can walk through life and mitigate certain situations, avoid certain things that you really just don't have to experience. If someone has been through, some really tough, difficult times, and you could avoid that, it might make sense to have someone in your space who can inform you, and who can, just support you and be there as a, strong confidant, a strong pillar of support. And I think Chelsey and I, we were talking earlier today, the tough thing is that so many people know that they need community, but we don't know how to find it.
Yeah, that's really true. And it's not easy, and it's hard because you already have like this friendship or whoever's in your life that you had for a long time, and they're not really healthy for you. They are not moving forward, and you're just kind of like stuck because you don't want to lose the friendship, but you also want to move on and have better, healthy friendships. So you're just like this battle, but you're like, well, how can I find these people? So I'm stuck with this person, and I I want to be with this person, but they're not moving forward, and it's a challenge. But I think if you are intentional with trying to connect with people that are healthy, it's is really just searching. I know for me, like when I moved down here in Georgia, I knew I had to get connected in a church. I know not everybody does go to church, but that helped me because I knew they have small groups, they have like connect groups, whatever it is. I can get into an environment and get into a community of like-minded people and grow and make connections. There's also like other things, other avenues you can do. There's activities, like if you like certain hobbies, you can join a certain hobby, whatever is dance or fitness, whatever, and you can begin to start talking to people and to see if they're similar, if they're like-minded, if they're moving forward, and then just build that communication with that person or the group of people. Also, when it comes with, like if you are single and you are longing for a relationship, a husband or a wife, get connected with a married couple that is strong in their relationship and that you can like look up to. You can ask them questions, or even if you're in a relationship, it's good to have like the married couple so you could just see like, okay, this is what I'm, you can learn a lot from them, the rights and the wrongs, and it's like a mentorship, but it's also a friendship that's being built as well. Like those are like little things you could do to help build yourself up. And lastly, there's nothing wrong with therapy or having a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever. There's nothing wrong with it. I know sometimes it could be frowned upon because it may look like you're crazy. You're not crazy. I mean, you could be crazy, but at the end of the day, it's someone that will listen to you. If you don't have like a healthy relationship, healthy friendships, you can go to someone that is a licensed counselor or whatever, and you can really talk to them and they can help build you up. It's really important to have a mentor or a counselor or a community, whatever it is. I encourage you to just be intentional about it so you can become built up.
Yeah. So these are just a few things that we want you guys to be keeping in mind of, along with all the other content that we share with you guys. And we specifically put these key things in this order because if you focus on prioritizing yourself, you'll be able to navigate through life and avoid some of the offense, avoid some of the expectations, avoid some of the comparison. And even as you build the community and work with the community, you'll realize that you'll be working with and dealing with other imperfect people. So you'll have the ability to build strong bonds and understand that they're human too. And you have to give them grace and have to give them the same support that they give you. But ultimately, in this season, as we're continuing to focus on being the best version of ourselves, just really focus on those things that you need to do more of and do less of as you're really looking for some of those things, those hopes, those visions, those goals to come into fruition. So we want you guys to stay encouraged, stay focused, and know that we have your back and we support you guys as you're becoming the best version of yourself. And stay tuned for more videos on how to become the best version of yourself each and every Thursday. Until next time, I'm Justin.
And I'm Chelsey.